Oh, look at him. He has to be in tears. He has to be broken. But this man here will be celebrating one of the best scoring, striking rates you've ever seen in your life. Haaland wins it for the Norwegians. And just like that, it's 2-1. It's the end of the journey for the Ivorians. It's yet another African team, the third of 10, coming back home. It's a celebration for Odegaard. It's a celebration for this, a team that fought to the very last minute.
Because I called it 2-1 to Cote d'Ivoire, but Norway were the ones that went through to win the game. But I actually liked how Cote d'Ivoire came back in the second half. We spoke about Imes Faye and his tactical adaptability. Came in the second half and changed the system. From a 1-4-2-3-1 from a 1-4-3-3 to a 1-4-2-3-1. Taking out Uboni, bringing in Uwai, and also taking out Inai and bringing on Amad Diallo, who went on, to score a goal. But the keeper, Norway saved them towards the end.
Yeah, Skipper, right. I think the Ivory Coast team, they gave Norway a match, silver platter, because this is a match that they should have easily won, simply if they concentrated on the details. Because I think the goals that they conceded in this match was purely because they didn't take care of those smaller details in the game.
And this is the man, we spoke about earlier on, Haaland, that they need to make sure they take care of him.
Yeah.
Because as slight fell and Joe Samunagi, he gets on, to the score sheet.
Yeah, sure. It was simply because they didn't cut the suppliers. They did cut the suppliers in most part of this match, but at the right moment, of course, they will punish you. They made some substitutions that I must say they really took the Norwegian team back a little bit in terms of defending.
And the Nusa substitution was a puzzling one.
That's the part where the Ivorians should have easily capitalized in that, because when you look at the way they structured after that, you could tell that they were looking to catch the Ivorian with the break, and the majority of possession was in the hands of Ivory Coast.
I never believe in saying the better team didn't win, because if you're the better team, you will win, and the better team won here. But the Ivorians are going to look at this and think, we didn't necessarily lose to a team that is better than us.
My experience tells me that when you're in the knockout stages of any tournament, score goals, defend better. Whether you have 120 touches on the field or at the center circle, as long as you are not hitting the opposition, you're going to go home like Ivorians did. Because when they go home, they'll be like, we didn't play.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
We could have. And those doesn't work, it doesn't happen in the match. And this guy, if we check how many
59 goals coming into this, 60 goals now is what he's got. In less matches than he has goals. We can't say he had a great match. He had some great attempts at the beginning with his head in the first couple of minutes. Yeah. But it was pretty quiet.
Yeah, he was quiet. And I think we also made reference to another match that he played, prior to this one, that he had 20 touches on the ball.
Yes.
But it speaks to his, efficiency, how clinical he is in front of goal. He's a man that does not need, many opportunities for him to shine.
Yeah.
He knows how to find the back of the net. And that's why they say he's football's cheat code. I think you bring on two men, then we are short in numbers, but you bring in someone to come and mark him, aerially he's still superior. So somebody that I think it's still going to take time for defenders, to find a way to silence him. Yeah. But let's speak about Odegaard, the heartbeat of that Norwegian team, together with Erling Haaland. I think when their coach took over in 2020, he made sure that he builds this team around these two, talented players. One that plays for Arsenal and the other one that plays for Man City. And even in the league, in the EPL, they fight it over until the last, to the last end. We saw Arsenal winning it.
Yeah, you're right, Skipper. And I think when you look at the Haaland, I did mention that these are players that were well developed in terms of knowing their strength, knowing where they are playing on the field. We can easily say this is one player that plays his role very, very well. He knows that he's got a limitation in terms of other parts of the field. And he doesn't want to fall for that trap of you channeling him to his weaknesses. He wants to play in their strong points, which is running behind the space, making sure that in the box is the boss, and allow players that like Odegaard who will play for him to create moments for him. Like you just said, in the last match he touches 22 touches, but he scored 2 goals. So you look for goals more than the touches because he doesn't look good on the ball.
The team captain, Odegaard, Sampo, you'd know about this here. You have a tradition like this here in South Africa, but this is the Vikings, Ralph. For those that ask, what are the Vikings? They're Scandinavians, coming from Norway and the surrounding areas, Denmark, Sweden as well, who were seafaring men who would go out there, and the ships were they everything. And there, what you're about to see is what's taken over the world now. They've shown the world how their forefathers used to do it when they were out at sea. They're asking for everybody to keep quiet. The drum is about to roll. Let me do likewise and keep quiet as well.
And I think, Anza, this is a moment that all these players always look forward to.
Yeah, sure.
So it means when they go into a match, they always go into a match to win so that they can have this moment with their fans.
Okay, here we go, Linda. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, that is fantastic. Odegaard leading the Norwegians there as they do the Vikings row. That's what it's called. They're emulating, you see that hat there as well. It's one of the Vikings hats, but emulating rowing of a boat. And so I was very fascinated with the sign language part of that. Please repeat it for me. How does it go? There we go. That is the Viking row. That's amazing. And that's, yes, there's the goals, and we're going to see some of them, some brilliant goals. I think, Ahmad's goal, one of the best of this tournament that we saw. But that there, seeing those 2 little kids stand there looking at their hero and doing the row, come on.
Look, man, you can't take that away, from football. So football is the most followed, the most loved sport. And I can imagine what those players, every time they get onto that field, how much they want to win so that they can get to do that celebration at the end, with their fans. And I was privileged, to also, the teams that I played for.
Yeah, but who was at that speed?
Yeah. That's good, center line, with the fans, would have, a song that would chant with our fans. Yeah. And we always look forward to it. And this moment is only beautiful when you win.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So it needs a win.
Oh, thank you.
Because you know as well, you've played at a team with the same tradition.
Yeah, the football, as we say, is the only sport that can turn a sweet boy like you to be crazy in a 90 minutes. And you look at that, and it's crazy how those fans are excited just to have a moment with their players, or players to have the moment with their fans. It's vice versa in this thing. And like you said, Linda, players, they look forward to have such moments. It's nice, it's really sweet after a victory like that, where you have to, chant with the fans. But more than anything, I think we saw the kids there enjoying themselves. They will never see the game the same after that, because if one doesn't want to be a football fan, one will want to be experiencing that moment where I want to win a football match, and immediately I have moments with my fans.
Unbelievable. But we'll get to the point as to why is it that it's Norway celebrating? They scored 2 goals. And Ahmad scoring just the 1 for Ivory Coast. They're going to be on their way home. There was so much anticipation, so much expectations for that team there. They started well. They were a bit shaky at times. Perhaps we'll take a look at defensively what they look like as well. All of that coming up over the next couple of minutes as we wrap up the game, wrap up the 90 minutes. Let's start right at the beginning, right? In the first half here as well. as to how we even ended up here. 17th minute, this is Diomande Pepe and Norway attacking, but the attack here was foiled. And Linda, you were very disappointed with how it was foiled.
Yeah, I think they did everything right. You know, Diomande switching play to the opposite side to Pepe. And once Pepe goes in there, I think Udu being a defender, I think that is a negative touch to take outside of the box. Because already you are in the box. You know, it's let that ball run through across you and keep the defender behind you. You know, anything that he does, then it's a penalty. So I think that was a missed opportunity from Due, you know, taking the ball back when they've already gained so much ground, you know, getting into the box. So I think let's not falter him that much because, look, he's a defender.
Skipper, it talks to game awareness.
Yeah.
When you see other players doing that, you feel like you can do it. But the one thing that he didn't do right there is to scan. And the other thing is receiving ahead of the ball. Because he's not talented like that to understand that when somebody passes me the ball like that, I should always look behind me, what's happening behind me.
I thought when we see a Haaland goal, it was going to be something like this. Spectacular from outside the box, header, a great strike. You saw them sharpening that cross to him. This was the first one in the second minute. But it never, I mean, even the goal he scored, not a brilliant one by any means, but they all count.
Yeah, this is something that Cote d'Ivoire had to do. They had to avoid, cancel out, minimize, stop, and prevent, you know, crosses into the box. Because Haaland's aerial ability, you know, I think that's where he excels a lot. So they needed to make sure, Guti, in the wide channels, the cross was always blocked. That it never had to come into the box because once it comes in, there's no stopping Haaland.
They had warning shots, this Norwegian team, and it was simply because of the wide players. They managed to put the balls in the box, like a skipper say, cut the supply, make sure that the balls don't come easily into your box. But one thing that I was disappointed is Akbadu together with Kasuru, the number 7, and as a defenders. You must know when the ball is wide, there's only one player who can score you guys, is the striker. And if the ball is wide and you are looking at the ball carrier and the crosser and you forget about the striker, of course you're going to get hurt.
Well, they weren't without their opportunities and chances, even in the first half. You know, before conceding that goal that does come in the 39th minute with Nusa, they had their attempts. They were creative. They went up and they had their attempts, Lampo, but it just wasn't coming together. This moment here, a more lethal striker, a more hungry, and we said African players and African teams. One place they're lacking is in front of goals.
Yeah, our biggest disappointment is in front of goals, and we can do everything right on a football match. The only thing that is disappointing us and in the whole of Africa is in front of goals. When you see teams that are doing well in competitions, are those who can terminate crosses. And I was not really disappointed to see a player of Pepe's caliber not connecting with the ball, because we can easily make excuses for him because he's left footer and he's connecting with the right foot.
Yeah, I also agree because the ball then lands, you know, on his right. But this is a beautiful goal from Unusa.
Yeah.
Who then is then substituted, you know, and we ask questions why. But this is the goal that comes on Frank Kessie in the picture, you know, laid to cover. Because when you have a player playing on the left who's right-footed, the only thing he wants to do is cut inside and hit the far post. Yeah. So in that instance, Kessie had to be close to block that shot or even force him to go even further back. You know, Flompo was saying, allow him to dribble back, and not take the shot. But in that case, an experienced player of Kessie's, you know, caliber, he's the captain of that team. He should know better.
And Skipper, that's not him only. If you look at the picture, the picture says it's a combination of error. When you see the person who's marking there, it's Pepe, who's supposed to be somebody who's causing troubles for the opposition. Due should be the one dealing with Nunes. Yeah. And for me to allow a winger on a winger, it'll be a problem, especially in the box, because he will neglect or he doesn't have a defensive skills to understand where I should trap the winger. Of course, he's a winger, but look, when the right winger is coming into the left-hand side of the defender, when you are a defender, you cannot understand those moments a little bit. When you look at the Pepe in that instant, he allowed Nunes to come into his right, which for me is where he's channeling him to the stronger foot. Had he trapped him on the side, which is the goal line, You have a goal line, you've got yourself, you are 2v1. So you're forcing him to use his weaker foot to cross. How many times does he get it right?
And I hear you. Defensively, they were poor. They should have done better.
Yeah.
But I don't want us to take the credit away from how amazing that goal
I'm
was.
just jealous because that's a beautiful goal to win any match. But
Let's take a break there. We'll have an opportunity to see it because he also then scores that goal, has some great attempts and run at defenders that earns him man of the match. But all of that when we come back. It's a 2-1 at the end of 90 minutes. Cote d'Ivoire are headed home and they stay another day in the Americas, due Norway to row. Let's see how far they can row as far as this competition is concerned. They enter the last 16, or rather the last 16 where they'll be facing Brazil next. That is a matchup the world wants to see. But hey, you can sign up on carlingpredictor.com for your chance at championship prizes. You made for champions. It's the Carling Black Label official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. South Africa, be sharp. It's not for sale to persons under the age of 18.
To take the ball off the ground, to hit it far post. It's a difficult skill to execute. But once you practice over and over, and I think I always urge the dribblers, the ones who knows how to get into the last third of any defenders, make sure that you work on your finishing. This is the skill that you have to.
Sampo, you were frustrated at this moment. You were saying, score, shoot. What are you doing?
Yeah, I was frustrated because I always know that in competition like this, any half a chance is equal to a chance, a big chance, because you'll never get a clear one. And this is supposed to be a goal, to be honest, because once you are here, hit this thing with shoelace, close your eyes and make sure that the goalkeeper doesn't even see it or feel it. But once you do that and you don't score, we'll look at it and we'll be like, I wish you connected with it properly.
Yeah, but in that case, I think credit to the defenders for blocking the far post and allowing the ball to go to the near post where the keeper could make a simple save. You know, but Lapayana, we see now a corner and poor marking. You know, a flick and a man then coming on, you know, to get to the ball first. Everybody's focused on Haaland in the near post, and they forget that there's many other players, you know, involved. I think the Cote d'Ivoire defenders were all focused on Haaland. That's why stats say that Haaland touched the ball in the box 5 times.
Yeah, I'm looking at that from a striker's point of view. I can read it to you. 1 goal, 2 of the 4 shots on target. He touched the ball 5 times, won 3 or 4 aerial duels. But we'll discuss that further because I don't want us to take away from this moment here.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was beautiful and positive from Ahmad, from the Cote d'Ivoire team, simply because they played forward. There was a moment where Sangare was twisting and turning on the center line, and I was busy saying, pass the ball, pass the ball. And he passed the ball wide where Doe came with this run. Positive to see where it was overlapping and a give and go from Ahmad and Pepe. That was beautiful to see. And they didn't do that in the first half. I thought they will continue to do that so that they can cause problems for this Norwegian team.
I think, Lapana, nothing, you can't take anything away from Ahmad individual brilliance.
Yeah.
You know, to drop the shoulder. But I want to take you through this goal. If you look at the man in picture, Usangare, at this moment, when you think he should be playing safe sideways, you know what he decides to do? He sees that my team is trailing, so let me take it into my own hands. He dribbles, he feints and he dribbles again, and then he sees space open in front of him. Because the other 2 players are focused on Casey in the center half, and then he drives forward with the ball to find Ahmad. So credit to Usangare Lapana, because I think it's risk versus reward. If he loses the ball goes into the net.
Yeah.
But Lapayana, when he finds him in a wide position, and then somebody comes in play, that's Due, with the overlapping run to allow Ahmad to come inside and play 1-2 with Nicolas Pepe. After Lapoge, I think the rest is history. You know, when you're born with it, you're born with it. Messi and them are people that score goals like this. Maybe it's just left footers and just the finesse that they have.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. 1 goal, 4 shots, only 2 on target, 3 aerial duels won, 5 touches in the box and 1 chance created. I would look at those stats and think, not a great game, but by no means for a striker of his caliber.
Unfortunately, when you're a striker, you are signed to play and score goals. That's nothing. That's the number 1 rule of a striker. For him to get at the end of every ball, that's what they want from him. They don't want him to establish play like Odegaard. Of course, he doesn't have that skill. But at the end of every ball, he has to. For me, I think this goal was given to him. And simply because of not paying attention to those details. Look at the ball from Odegaard here. When you see Olsen, the right back, who came on as a substitute, it gave it to Oscar Bob, who obviously he's going to come on the left-hand side because he's what you are talking about Ahmad. He's good on his left-hand side. This is the pass. Look, Kasanu or Akbadu must not follow somebody who's going to the corner flag. I mean, this you have to defend your goals, and I don't know what happened there. Because
He chased somebody, because what was it?
Yeah. But you ride your own luck. You create your own luck. Agna Gutuzodicha is that it's still a goal. When you look at his stats, but top save from the free kick, Yara Ahmad. I think he did everything right. The keeper just needs to be given credit. Neyland did exceptional well. Because most cases, when you're a keeper, you're told, Uguti, trust your wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust your all, but he made sure with
But I want to see the man in the ball.
Yeah.
Big Tom Connect. Sorry.
Well, it's been top analysis. It's been absolutely a top production, and you've been a party of it. We don't stop here as the SABC Sport because, yes, Bafana might be gone, but the World Cup continues. Adopt an African team, and I'll give you one to do exactly that. We've got Congo that play England. Come on, we can do this. Then Spain take on Austria, and Argentina versus Cape Verde. Can they keep the dream alive? Oh, Makoti. We'll have to wait and see. That's Cape Verde. Let's have. We've got to get out of here. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you to the women that drive this show as well. And for you, in this World Cup, when there's so much on offer, you continue to choose the SABC Sport. We appreciate that. Pela. And so me.